Hey everyone, this is Mark from My Size Hedge Fund, and over the next few days I'm going to have something a little bit different. It's not actually going to be me playing. I have been hosting a Core 2.0 tournament for some players in Ireland. We're now at the business end of the tournament where we're into the knockout phases, so we've got a couple of players left, only 4, competing for a Worlds 2017 mat. And I thought it'd be nice to showcase the games, showcase Core 2.0, and hopefully give something for newer players maybe, or players who are interested in the Core 2.0 format. In today's game we have irishrover, or Alan, a fine player from Cork. He has made the cut at Worlds with a Director Haas deck, that is his claim to fame. And then BadgerPigeon is Peter. So they're going to face off, I'm going to commentate. I will note that I recorded the video of this a little while ago. I couldn't commentate at the time live, but I did try and keep an eye on the match and hover over things as they got drawn, things like that. So it's going to basically look like I have an annoying co-commentator who's quite silent, who just occasionally just mouses over things, and hopefully we'll be able to run with it. But I thought it'd be fun to commentate over as well, get that little bit of practice in, and yeah, let's have some fun with Core 2.0. Hopefully I'll be able to record future games fully live, but we'll see how it pans out. So there's no restricted list in effect, as you can see, because Magnum Opus and Aesop's both in Alan's hand. On the corp side, a little bit of money, some ice, but also a priority requisition. Unfortunately in Core you have to play bigger, beefier agendas, so there's some fun stuff to play around. Peter is indeed going to keep, which makes sense. Ice. Money is always a good turn. Now the priority rec is scary, but drawing a punitive counter-strike, that kind of lessens the burden a little bit. If you can make money, you can put the runner in a pretty terrible position. So let's see if they can land the punitive over time, or what kind of style they're going to go with. Choosing not to pop the extra money, keeping 4 cards in hand, which is good as well. You want the 1 in 4 shot of hitting your big agenda rather than 1 in 3. On Alan's side, pretty standard opening, drawing to see what he could find. Short Gamble is always going to go down, and Magnum Opus as well. And things not getting too much better for Peter. He's got money, but now it's a hand of 2 agendas, which if the HQ interface goes down and he runs and gets 2 of them, you just need to have the money advantage to land the punitive. Of course, on the flip side, Magnum Opus is a great counter to that. Now, on the Peter side as well, he does have Archive Memories, so you can punitive, archive, punitive, which is another way around that. So it's going to be an interesting back and forth battle, I think, trying to money up versus keeping these agendas safe, or I don't know, you nearly want to have 2 of them stolen at the one time, just so that you just have to land the 1 punitive. But Magnum Opus is going to be a headache. You'd assume the land isn't going to last too long, but we'll see if Chaos Theory wants to check it out. And Alan, committing a mortal sin of Netrunner by drawing quite late, finds a diesel which might have been decent earlier, but is going to put down the HQ interface. So Peter has the choice of either flipping Melange now, which would get it immediately trashed, or trying to ice up. Caduceus, it's not going to do too much heavy hitting. Chaos Theory on 0 link, so you might get the Traces of Fire. But again, Alan is making money hand over fist, so isn't in a terrible position. In fact, he ices Archives, which is unusual. Maybe trying to portray that server 1 was a trap that's possibly failed, and shut off easy dirty laundry targets, things like that. Actually, dirty laundry isn't Core 2, is it? This means that Alan gets to set up test runs, just 1 test run now. That's going to be handy to grab any breaker that decides to hide out. Battering Ram is not the greatest barrier breaker. It starts with 3 strength, but it is expensive to install, and it's 2 per subroutine, which is always one of those things that as you play more you cringe a little more when you have to do it. No corroder though, so you're kind of left with slimmer pickings. And Peter is making good money and happy just to keep melange on the table. But with no pressure, Alan can just money up right back. So it's turning into a bit of a money fight as both players slowly set up, gain a bit more money, and take their time over it all. I don't think we're going to see Peter rush somehow with 2 5-3s in hand. Shipment from, I think it's Kaguya, is an interesting one, and an archer. But archer with 2 5-3s. Now it's great if you can get the priority rec scored and get the archer for free. Otherwise you're looking for a much smaller agenda. Fem comes down on HQ. This could be unpleasant. Now Peter does have the money advantage, so it kind of depends on what Alan hits and how much money he has at the end of it. If he sees a punitive counter-strike, the jig is up, and he's basically just going to have to money up an awful lot. If he sees 2 agendas here, that could be game. Peter not going to res, he's taking his chances. Hits 1, and archive memories. So now you have to do the math, and unfortunately, as I'm not recording this live, I have to kind of hope that I mouse over it. So punitive, archive punitive requires a lot of money. 2 punitives also require a lot of money. So Alan decides not to go in again, which Peter may actually be disappointed at. Much easier to land the 1 trace 5. As it currently stands, he can get 1 off. It's going to cost him a lot of money to do so. But unfortunately, as Alan steals agendas, that punitive play gets switched right off. So it's a tricky position to be in. I mean, you can do 3 damage quite early, which is powerful. You can just melange, as he's going to. Because I was going to say, if you do the damage, you're leaving yourself quite exposed. And with the other 5-3 in hand, it's not ideal. Also, not the greatest piece of ice on R&D, so you're leaving yourself open to an awful lot of pain. Maker's Eye. I think you might be able to assume where the Fem is going. Although, because Peter didn't res the HQ ice, it's still that kind of mysterious target where you might want it on it. Maybe you're not resing because it's something big like a toll booth, and forcing them to pay 1 isn't that tempting. But Peter going on a bit of a charge here. He is going to install advance, because now he does have a good credit lead, plus Alan does not have any breakers down. So that is a good window, and this is kind of classic Netrunner where you didn't have a ton of defensive upgrades, you didn't have all these bells and whistles. You kind of had to look for scoring windows and sometimes look really hard for them, as was the case here. It looked quite grim for a while. But now, better position, archer up, which it's an easy Fem target, or Fem onto Dinosaurus takes care of it fairly efficiently as well. It's now going to be 4 strength, so it's expensive, but Alan's looking at R&D instead. I'm going straight in with the Maker's Eye. So there's 2 agendas gone, but R&D is pretty stacked now. And again, this could be dangerous for Alan. He is not well off. So hitting an agenda, it could be curtains, which is an interesting risk-reward. Grindel Refinery goes in the bin. It's almost like a trap. You can use it as a trap, just to draw people through an expensive server, but if they don't run it, the reward off it is amazing. I think we're just going to see Peter ice up. Even though Alan knows what's coming, it's important to get these servers shored up a little bit. Now it's interesting you went with pop-up on R&D. You do want to... That's where the R&D, or that's where the agendas are. You kind of want to stop him from it, even though it is likely that Alan will attack R&D over and over and over again. I think you want to have the ice wall on the inside, then the pop-up on the outside, just to force them to get a bit more. It's kind of a strange position in that he's running a lot of 5-3s, but the ice that we've seen is quite fragile. The archer aside, obviously. And Alan lucky to miss out on the snare. So it might be worth keeping in hand. HQ interface is always going to make HQ a tempting target. So having a snare in hand could bring the pain, and again it makes the punitive play a little easier. I do find it interesting that Peter is committing to icing up the pad campaign, even though Alan has a lot of money. He didn't go first when it was wide open, and now he has another pad campaign in hand plus another ice wall, so you wonder if he's going to install and install. The toll booth over the archer that's a good scoring server. That's going to keep things nice and safe. But now it's a matter of finding agendas sooner rather than later. Archive memories again, and the pad. And Alan is thinking about it. Is he going to waste another click later to come back and get it? Is it going to be an option as an install into server 1? But he does leave it. So now Peter can feel pretty good about installing that in the open, I think. At least then you can commit the ice wall to R&D or a different server, although Hadrian's wall has come. That is a big beefy piece of ice. And that you can advance as well, which is quite important. You can start making it harder and harder on poor battering ram. And indeed, Hadrian's wall up on R&D. Unfortunately, pop-up window inside it. And ice wall goes on HQ again. And it looks like just in time that Hadrian's went up there, because indexing has arrived. And you'd have to imagine Alan will dig for another Maker's Eye just to make it really count. The modded has come out quite late, with both your magnum opus and your battering ram and your fem down. Actually, so many targets that modded would have been great for, but they're already on the board. So come for HQ again, no clicks left. So this could hurt. Luckily his only resource is the ice carver. In fact, he is going to jack out. Possibly sensing a snare on the other side. Cleaners is drawn, and now is a pretty good time. You've seen a couple of test runs go. Well, no cold gate breaker yet, so tool booth will hurt. Fem is committed at the moment. So now seems like a good time. Plus it means punitive is even more dangerous if it does land. I think Alan's deck is trying to show him something, or try to tell him something, basically, go R&D. But he's going to try and stimmack into the remote, and unfortunately we know how this is going to end. So I paid the 3 from the stim hack, but that is all she wrote. Bit of an anticlimax. And loses an indexing as well, and that is unfortunate. Because indexing in against a deck that's running 5/3s, that can really, really hurt. You can get 2 agendas in a row and end the game just like that. He's going to go for it. And you can res Hadrian's here. 4 to boost battering ram. And then 2 per subroutine isn't bad, but in fact he's going to leave him through. So just to pop up add a Femmed Enigma, protecting R&D. With 1 click to go, maybe he's kind of hoping to deter him so that he'll stack R&D a particular way, but won't be able to get through. I don't know, this seems very, very risky. He doesn't know if there's more Maker's Eye to come. And he is giving him knowledge of the top 5 of R&D as well. So, risky play. He would have had enough to res. Pad campaign's ticking away nicely, and could have advanced anyway. Maybe hoping for the punitive threat, or the greater chance to land the punitives. But tense times. What did Alan see? And is it worthwhile going back? Apparently not. He's just going to draw again. Another HQ interface. That could be very tempting. Now it's just I think that's a hunter, which is 1 cost, 4 strength, and it only has the 1 subroutine, so it's not going to do too much to Fem. There it is. So trace 3, give a tag if successful. But Fem already has strength 4, so not going to do a whole pile. And I imagine that'll be the card that gets binned. Because double punitive, great. Archive memories is always nice for the options. Snare useful with HQ interface on the board. It doesn't know there's another one in hand, but you have to imagine there's more than one. And pad is always worth an install. Either you stick it into this big beefy scoring server to force a run, or you just stick it out for economy. So Alan sees punitive, the jig is up, also hits a snare, so that's going to hurt. The cards in hand aren't that essential at the moment. And in fact he can pay with the feedback filter if he likes. He decides to prevent 1. So, draw, remove tag. Seems like a reasonable turn as well. Lost the other HQ interface. Maybe less willing to install it now that he's seen a snare. And a crash space comes a little later than Alan might have liked. So he's going to have to remove the tag the hard way. But now that he's seen punitive, that is a useful card to have. Can prevent 3 damage, so the cleaners still means that there's going to be that extra point of damage. So he's going to have to watch his hand size, but at least he can remove tags easier and has that option of preventing damage as well. And here's the play that I was talking about as well, installing the pad campaign into the scoring server. So possibly making it look like an Atlas, but I don't know if this is the right timing on it. Alan's just taken damage. You only prevented the 1. You'd have to imagine that isn't great odds on preventing your code gate breaker from being broken, from being trashed, I should say. Sorry. And Alan is going to ignore it. Just go for R&D instead. And Peter, happy to leave him through. Just get the credit off pop-up window. And tax Alan 3 in total, which isn't terrible, but it leaves him on 6 credits with 3 cards in hand. Ooh, gets the Atlas. And a hostile. So that is 3 points. Ooh, this could be curtains. So 3 cards in hand can prevent 3 damage. But double punitive will do it. And thankfully with Alan on much fewer credits, the math on this is pretty straightforward. So that looks like it's going to be game 1. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry about the non-live commentary, but try to get the video featured at least. And a punitive deck is going to take this one. So it is double elimination. Alan will move into the lower bracket to face off against the loser of game 2, which I'll try and feature very, very soon, while Peter will await the winner in the upper bracket. Going to land the punitive to do 3 damage, plus the cleaner is adding 1, which is going to be 4. Crash space prevents just the 3. And Peter has the option of either doing Archive Memories into punitive or just straightforward punitive. And that will be that. So an interesting game. I am curious as to why Hadrian's Wall didn't get rezzed. It would have been a great tax, but then again, Alan might have just taken more time on setting up, taking a lot more money, and might have made the punitives much, much harder to land. So, good play, enjoyed that game, and we'll be back with more Core 2.0 action very, very soon. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed.